week on Top Travel, Jeannie and Janez beat through the bush as they continue their gorilla trek in Rwanda. Later, they explore a historically rich bat cave, visit the shores of Lake Kivu, and tackle the Congo-Nile Trail by bike. Then, after a waterside cooking lesson, they head to the magnificent island of Mauritius.
I actually can't believe this. I've got goosebumps because I'm so excited about what we are going to be doing today. We're in northern Rwanda. It's known as the food basket of the country because the soil is so fertile. We're surrounded by about 5 different volcanoes. Now this is the natural habitat of the gorillas.
You know, I've always fancied myself your regular Diane Fossey, and ever since the movie Gorillas in the Mist, I've wanted to come and spend time with these glorious creatures. Today is that day.
There's only 880 left in the wild, and we are so special because we're going to be following the
Amahoro group.
Amahoro group.
You know, there's 19 in this group. Some of them are babies. I want a little gorilla baby as a pet.
Let's go find them. You know, you face it. You speak to anyone across the entire world, and you say, guys, I'm going to Rwanda to go walk with the gorillas. Everyone's going to be like, oh, I've always wanted to do that. Most of us have watched Gorillas in the Mist. We all know what it's about. That alone is going to be one of the most special experiences ever.
Hello, Francis.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, Francis. Jeannie, lovely to meet you.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
We are so excited to go and see the gorillas.
That's good news because I'm very sure I will see the gorillas for today.
How are we going to find them?
The way we find the gorillas is there is a team of trackers. So this is the area we like to find the gorillas, but I can't exactly say where they are. So we sent a team of trackers to go to find the gorillas. They have to start. We left the group the day before they follow the trail. That's why I have this radio with them. We keep in communication. Others, if they don't go there and they keep in communication to them, we can't know where they are going. So we can have days and days looking for them. But what I know now, they are following the trail. In a few hours, we'll be knowing where we are going. They know where we are going, so we'll see these gorillas.
They're very looked after by the Rwandan government. So the way they do these journeys is there's only a certain number per day of people that are allowed into these gorilla families. It is such a privilege to be allowed in.
The greatest threat by far to gorillas is humans. It's us cultivating lands and encroaching on their natural habitat. The Rwandan government is making this concerted effort, and you know, kudos to them. They are stopping farming land from encroaching on the gorilla natural habitat. They're building these walls around the volcanic mountains, and anything beyond there is the natural habitat of the gorilla. And thanks to this initiative, slowly but surely, the gorilla numbers are increasing year by year.
I've never seen a gorilla in real life. How dangerous are they really?
These gorillas become dangerous. It depends on the way we behave. Like if you are standing there and the gorilla want to move there, if you have to give a respect, then give it comes. If you don't, then it's to show some sign of aggression, and if you don't respect, then you see it won't be all that good. Or if you are standing where there is food and he comes, if you have to give away, then he comes. If you don't, then be aggressive. Or if maybe a baby comes to you and you feel like you won't touch on the baby, then it makes the mother to be aggressive. It's just a way of misbehaving. Others, if there is a respect, we create a distance, they don't mind that.
Few animals have sparked the imagination of man as much as the gorilla or the mountain gorilla. It's the largest living primate and also the last member of the ape family known to science.
I thought we were going up a little hike on a mountain. Turned out we were going into thick, thick jungle. Basically, we needed machetes because we were cutting through jungle. We had guides in front of us. Funny enough, who used to be poachers. But the clever thing, what Rwanda's done, is rehabilitated those poachers and are now working within the system to protect them. What a genius idea. Get the very people who are endangering these animals to protect them, because they know how better than anyone else.
You walk into some of the thickest tropical rainforest you'll ever see. There are thistles and nettles everywhere, and that's one of the reasons why you don't go wearing shorts. You need long pants, because I promise you, we were getting stung through our shirts, on our arms, on our legs. It was incredibly painful to get to the gorillas. I can feel my whole arm is burning already, so precautionary measures.
I was a little apprehensive because they are dangerous. They can't be messed with. They are wild animals, and now we are going into their environment. Scary.
How far away are we from the gorillas?
We are like 200 meters now.
Okay, back down the hill.
Yes, so we are going where we have come from. We can't know what they are going to do, but they are leading us back.
Yeah. So from what I gather, they're always moving up or down. Whether it rains, then when it rains, they move further up. So we're just trying to find them. Let's do it. Gorillas are always on the move. They're basically nomadic. They move from place to place to place. At dusk time, they'll usually build their nests out of bent branches and leaves. They'll sleep there for the night, and then come the morning, they'll move on again in search of food.
When we return, our twosome get their gorilla encounter, then explore the Muzanzi Caves, home to a bat colony and an interesting part of Rwandan history.
Oh my gosh. This is so exciting. They're right ahead of us. When you look at a gorilla, they're usually on all fours, and their forearms are a lot longer than their short legs. But when they stand up, a fully grown silverback can be much taller than, a big man. It can be almost 2 meters tall and weigh up to 200 kilograms. This has to be...
Go, Janez. Janez.
Then this is fine. Okay.
This has to be one of the most exciting things I've ever done in my life.
He's right next to me. Wow, that was terrifying.
You can actually feel how powerful they are.
I know. I was standing and he was walking right past me and I just felt Francis grab me and pull me back.
He'd be able to rip you off. He'd be able to rip you in two in a matter of seconds.
I thought there had to be quite a far distance between you and the gorillas. Little did I know that they would be amongst us, all over us. Ah, what a privilege. That was terrifying. I just heard this thumping on the ground. I actually felt the ground moving. Next thing he comes charging, running past us. I was thinking and maybe hoping that he was going to rugby tackle Janez.
I think it's just a warning, though. I think that they make the sound that goes, and that basically means get out of my way, this is my pathway. You can see this big boy over here is called a blackback. So he's going to start getting signs. He's going to start getting signs of grey hair, and he'll soon be a silverback. It's so important to watch your back the whole time, because if a gorilla wants to go, he'll just knock you out the way. You can see things have changed a little bit here. It's now pouring down with rain.
It's advisable, ladies, when you do come into the jungle and it is rainy season, always wear a white t-shirt.
If you look at a gorilla group or a gorilla family, they're usually a tight-knit family. They can have up to 30 members, but usually there's a couple of males, one leader, one alpha male silverback, quite a few females, and then quite a few juveniles. They're not particularly aggressive. They're actually quite submissive. You can walk in and around them as long as you don't threaten them.
Can you give way to this one? Come on, you can pass here.
Oh, let's give way to this little one. Hi, beautiful. It's so difficult to just not reach out and touch them. I just want to play with them and cuddle them. We're not allowed to, hey?
You see, the gorillas behave in a sense that if a gorilla comes closer to you, it can be more flexible to you than if you're the one going to it. So if I go there, it starts to bring some sign of aggression. So that's why it's not very easy to touch. And to a baby like this alone, if you get scared and shouts out, you see the whole group coming to defend.
And what would they be feeding on? What are they looking for?
For now, they are looking for the bamboo shoots, but that's not the only food they eat, though that's the most favorable food to them. The bamboo shoots, it's a seasonal food, but they eat the soft ones. The hard one, like this one, they can't feed on them. I think like in 2 weeks' time, they'll be not having more of that, so they go to eat other plants. They eat over 200 species of plants. They can eat even these stingnators, they do eat.
So they're only herbivores, though?
Yes, they're maybe vegetarian, if I can't say that.
Are they also like humans in a way? Do they have different personalities and traits?
Yes, they have. Like if you were the leading, you see there is one of these silverback just come on just a bit on the ground, a bit some scale like that. If you were the leading silverback, he will not do that. He will just keep moving around because for him he's not that fond of life like that.
He's got nothing to prove yet.
Yeah, yet this silverback number 3, he won't show us that I'm strong like that. So they behave differently depending to the personality of the gorilla. Though they think the leading silverback personality can influence the whole group. But
There were about 19 gorillas running around in the wild. We saw huge silverbacks, we saw blackbacks, we saw various females and juveniles. It was just, words can't describe what we experienced that day. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say.
That was amazing. That's the lead alpha.
He's so big and he's so strong and he's so stocky. I mean, that's 200 kilograms of pure muscle.
I know.
Oh, cute, man.
Oh. Hi.
Oh, cute.
Hi, cutie. Do you want to come play with me?
Cute.
Oh, wait, here's the mother. Not so cute. He said, hi. Hello. Hi. Hello.
Now, spending an hour with a gorilla group in the mountains, in their natural habitat, and just observing what they do is probably one of the top 3 experiences of my life. And I couldn't get enough of it.
Aha. And this is exactly what I've been looking for. It's called a peace basket. And basically how this came about, whenever there's a dispute, or you want to make somebody an offering, or if you want to marry somebody's daughter, you usually fill these baskets with food or gifts or anything of the sort that could make peace between 2 people. So this is a perfect gift for Janez. It's just got to be the right one. And I've just found it. Hello. Hello.
We drove past the soccer field where I thought, oh, this is an opportunity for me to kick some ball around with the kids. No, I was just wasting everyone's time because the real reason we were there was to explore these incredible caves. Bobby the Builder, you look very cute, by the way.
Oh, you look like Bob the Builder.
These are in fact the Musanze caves. They are huge. Some say they stretch all the way from here, which is northern Rwanda, into the Congo. We actually don't know how far they go, but the Tourism Bureau said to us, guys, do you want to go and explore these caves? We've just opened them up. Obviously, as travelers, we said yes. So we are the first international TV crew to go explore.
Caves completely fascinate me, but what lives in caves really scare me. Bats, rats.
We know that the caves were used by early warlords as an element of surprise. You know, an enemy force would attack them. They would submerge themselves in the caves. They would reappear behind the enemy, and the enemy would think that this is pure magic, so they would retreat and run away. So the local warlords that owned those caves had this aura around them that they were invincible. Local people used to come here and make animal sacrifices to the gods. The water that you find on the ground they thought was holy in a way, or had healing properties. Then in the Civil War, which lasted from 1990 to 1994, a lot of people used this as a shelter. And then during the genocide, I'm sure even more people used it as a shelter.
From the entrance of the caves, with all the vines and all the natural sunlight, to this incredible exit, those were the best parts because it really did feel like we were explorers who were finding this cave on our own.
Stay tuned. Jeannie and Janez visit Lake Kivu, take a scenic bicycle trek, and learn how to cook like a local.
This is Lake Kivu, one of the greatest lakes in Africa. In fact, the name Kivu actually means lake in the local vernacular languages. Now, it sits on the border of the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda, and it is massive. It almost reminds me of Lake Tahoe because it doesn't look like a lake at all. It looks like the ocean.
It's huge, about 2,700 square kilometers, and it's also quite high, about 1,460 meters above sea level. But here's the catch. The lake bed lies on a rift valley, which is continually pulling apart, which is one of the reasons why this area is covered in volcanic activity. And it's also a reason why it's one of the deepest lakes in the world at 480 meters deep. The Lake Kivu Serena Hotel is again about position, position, position. I mean, you can't go wrong when you build a hotel on the banks of Lake Kivu. It is just simply spectacular. Unfortunately, it was the rainy season, so we didn't have blue skies, and it didn't look as pretty as it could. But still, if you were there, you appreciated where you were.
It was just so peaceful, and it's the kind of place, because it's so raw and so untouched, it is the perfect place to have a lot of fun.
This should be fun, Jeans. In Kigali, we were on the motorbikes. Here at Lake Kivu, we're going to try some pedal power.
Now, for only 50 American cents, you can take these taxis.
Did you know that we're in fact on a trail called the Congo-Nile Trail, which stretches all the way from northwest where we are, northwest Rwanda, all the way to southwest, which is the origin of the Nile. Just like the motorbike taxis, it's exactly the same except a bit slower, but you get a completely different perspective of the country. It's cheap, it's less than 50 US cents to go 5 kilometers, and they take you up and down hills, and sometimes you have to push and help. I've pushed and helped. Push them up the hill, freewheel down the hill. What a way to explore Rwanda.
This certainly isn't the most comfortable taxi ride I've ever had, but if you've ever been on the London Underground in summer, you'd probably think this to be quite pleasant. It's a big difference from Kigali because everything feels slower, everything feels quieter and calmer, just very relaxing. So if you think it's a little odd cooking outside in the rain in Rwanda, it's not really, because it's the rainy season and it rains for approximately an hour every single day, and it's almost up.
Chef, you're looking at two South African people that simply love food. What are we going to be making today?
Here I have two types of food. One is white meat, which is fish, tilapia fish, and goat brochette.
I love fish, but this is from the lake, not the sea.
From the lake. We have two types of fish from the lake, which is tilapia fish, and the small fish, we call it sambasa.
So what do we have in here?
We have lemons, lime, dill, ginger, and olive oil.
That is a sensational concoction.
Yes.
Can you teach me how to make it?
Yes.
Okay. Again, Rwanda, land of a million smiles. We just had this gracious chef who had gone all out. He knew that Janez was allergic to fish, so he made him goat.
Moment, wait. You have to put...
Oh, you've got to grease up your tray as well.
Yes.
Oh, wow, it's already sizzling.
Put on top. Oh, yeah, like that.
Did I just cook? We're cooking.
Yeah, you're acting like a chef.
I'm acting like a chef. I would be very good if I had time to cook it.
Chef, I'm finished with my goat skewers.
Yes.
Can I put them on the fire?
Put aside. This side. Moment, wait.
Sorry.
Wait a minute.
It was a crazy cooking scenario because the chef was asking me to do this and that, and I didn't understand what he was doing, and then put this there and do that. It was one of those, lost in translation moments where I didn't know what he was saying and he didn't know what I was saying, but somehow we made a feast together.
This is the fish, tilapia fish.
So the chef served Jeannie the fish, not a little piece of the fish.
The entire fish is on my plate.
I hope you're hungry.
Oh, well. When in Rome.
I nibbled on my kebabs while Jeannie sat there her eyes went like this. Jeans, I know you so well, and it seems like you want to tell me something.
I do, actually. Okay, Janez, I have a gift for you.
Ah, brilliant. I don't for you.
You never get me gifts anyway. I'm not expecting any more.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's called an agaseche, which is Rwandan for peace basket. And basically, this basket would be given to people with offerings in it. And I thought, well, we've been on so many journeys together and we've always remained such good friends. You deserve a peace basket.
Peace forever.
A perfect ending to a great trip. I was so pleasantly surprised by this fantastic country.
There's a positive energy around Rwanda, and there's a lot to be learned from the way that they've reconciled and changed.
While Rwanda has been incredible, Jeannie and Janez are feeling the call of the Indian Ocean. So they're jetting off to Mauritius to lap up a little luxury at one of the island's most indulgent resorts.
Mauritius is an island created by underwater volcanic eruptions. The first settlers in Mauritius were Portuguese. We really are very good at location, location, location. Vasco da Gama, Bartholomew Diaz, Mauritius.
Mauritius is the perfect holiday destination. It has everything you want. The weather's great, the culture's great, the food's great, they've got the most fantastic hotels. And Club Med is one place I'd never been to. As far as Team J&J is concerned, Africa has been the most incredible, memorable experience of our lives. Nothing really beats it. But on the other side of things, it's also been very tiring, you know, all that packing, moving from lodge to lodge, the small planes flying through Africa. I almost feel like I just want to calm down, breathe in, and get a little TLC.
Oh, we need some downtime so badly. So our sanctuary of choice is the La Plantation de Albion Club Med in Mauritius. And trust me, Inez, this is going to be so good.
The Club Med we stayed in, the Plantation de Albion, was situated on the west coast of the island. Perfect position. Lovely to meet you.
It's a pleasure to welcome you. How are you?
Very well, thank you. It is so good to be back here at Club Med.
Finally. It's a pleasure to welcome you in Club Med La Plantation d'Albion. Now you're going to see the amazing place, the village. All the team will be here to welcome you.
Club Med definitely does have this stamp of quality across the world of being the best holiday experience. Why is it different to, say, any other holiday across the world?
So easy, we think about you. We think about your pleasure. It's for that with Club Med Albion, everything is all inclusive. You don't have to think anymore. Everything, you just have to participate if you want. Anything you ask, you just have to ask. It's going to be like a magic.
Everyone's excited, everyone's ready to have you, to host you, and it builds up that energy, you know. I was like a little boy, and Jeannie was jumping around. We were so amped to go.
This is one of the best places of the village because this localization, I want to say, is with the pool and the view you have is to have a look about the place when you're going to start for sailing. This spot, it's windy, it's an amazing place. You can be here sitting and see when you want to sail, when you want to do snorkeling with a perfect place and perfect weather.
And where are we going to be staying?
It's so easy because you're amazing. You're amazing. We're going to put you a special localization. You're going to be in a special square to the villa.
Ah, a villa.
You're going to see a villa, an amazing villa. You're going to have your home villa.
Golf carts weren't meant for golf courses alone, but for luxury estates to get from point A to point B naturally, especially in sweltering heat and high humidity. So when we got offered the golf cart, there's two different colors. One is the green one for regular guests, but we were given the white one for the luxury villas, of course.
Next week on Top Travel, Jeannie and Janez continue to live it up at the resort with fun in the sun that includes a spin on a catamaran and mastering the trapeze. Later, they tour the Port Louis waterfront, go diving with dolphins, and take in the island's natural beauty.